Good morning, Trillion family. Today we'll continue analyzing the GBPUSD pair. All right, so this morning I sent a setup, this setup here, right here. As you can see on the 30 minutes or 15 minutes time frame, a new trend was formed. This trend here, where we have this higher low, this higher low here, higher low. Then we had a high, so I was anticipating a higher low to form around this area. That was the setup I sent this morning. As you can clearly see, the setup broke down into this area, even though our higher low has not been, our higher low, this one here, has not been violated yet. Remember, I told you when you are placing a trade, if you place the buy here, your stop loss is supposed to be under the previous higher low. So this is the previous higher low. So if you are in this trade, your stop loss has not still been hit. Some of you might have placed your stop loss below this point, but this is not a clear higher low, and it must have hit it. If you check, the distance between these 2 points is very, very big. And that will bring me to one of the points I want to clear out today. Some of you might be noticing that I don't enter every trade in your account. Some of the profitable setups are not so easy to enter on the small account. So if you check the distance between this point and here, it will be around 108 pips. 108 pips. So this would have been the ideal place for me to place my stop loss if I was to enter this trade at this point using this time frame. All right. So now let's do a simple math. If we were to risk, let's say 5% of the account, which is what I recommend for a small account. Let me open our position size calculator. Right, so we'll see why some of the trades cannot be entered. Right, so this is the one I like using, my Forex book position size calculator. All right, so GBPUSD, remember how to calculate your position size. GBPUSD. Right, so this is it. So let's say our account size is $100, which is the average account size that you guys have. In fact, $50. Let's even put it at $100, right? All right, so the risk ratio, let's say we want to risk 5% of the account, and now our stop loss is 108 pips, just like we calculated. Can you see the lot size that we're to? You cannot trade that account. It means what want to risk $5, and from the calculation it gave, it's 0 lots. That means you can't enter that trade. The account is too small to enter the trade. The same thing with let's say you had let's say you increase the risk percentage to 10%, right? Calculate. So if it's 10% now that you're risking off your account, which is very high, it gives you 0.01 lot. So this is the only condition that you can trade that particular currency pair. Now for $50 account, for a $50 account, even when you are risking 10% of the account, you can't trade it. That's 0 lot. It's 0 lot, and that's why it's so difficult to trade a small account. If you have a $10,000 account, right? If you have a $10,000 account, you see, you can actually trade it by risking a smaller percentage. So let's say you want to risk 3% of the account, not even 5. We still have a lot size to use, and that's why trading a big account is so it's easier kind of than trading a small account. Small accounts, you have to wait for perfect setup so that your stop loss, the distance between your stop loss and your entry price is going to be very tiny. And usually when there is volatility in the market, it's difficult to trade that because it might just touch your stop loss and move in your direction. All right, so that said, the reason why this thing dropped is because we are actually around a daily trend line. This one here, this trend line here, this is a daily trend line. And as you can see, we've been on a downtrend on the daily chart. This is a bigger time frame. And right now we have approached a decision point. Either the market keeps going up or it comes down. Now, this point here is a very strong resistance, and that's why we've seen the kind of strong drop that we're seeing right now. Now, does it mean that the market is going to change direction? No, it doesn't. It's not. We're not sure yet. We don't predict. We look at what is happening and take decision based on that. All right. So to make things easy for you, just mark out your point, your chart point. So we have a high, a new high formed here. This was the previous low, right? So if we have another low from here, let's say the market reverses from this point back up and could not make a new high, let's say it made another high here, we'll now start to think that, okay, the market will reverse, just like we thought it would reverse here, but clearly it did not form a new low below this one. You understand? So it kept moving up. All right. So if you look at the bigger time frame, that's the 4 hour time frame, you discover that we're still in our uptrend. It's intact. Nothing has changed. It's moving according to plan. We have a low, we have a high, we have a low, we have a high, low, high, low, high, low now, and high. So it's moving perfectly fine. So we should be expecting it to form another low here, then high, like that continuously, until we see the market form something like a double top. As it comes here like twice, it can't twice or thrice, usually to form a range to start going sideways. If it wants to change the direction before it breaks down and form a new low, then start going down. So until we see that our bias is still on the buy side, that means we're on an uptrend, right? But when you're trading, you should consider the bigger time frames. You should also consider the bigger time frame. So as you can see from the daily time frame, we're seeing signs of rejection. If you watch the video on candlestick patterns, you discover that I told you when you see a long wick like this, means there's a rejection. So this signals to us that there are lots of sellers at this zone here. All right, so we should be careful. Even though we're still on an uptrend, we should be careful when placing buys. Wait for it to come back to a significant zone before you take a buy. All right, so that's the analysis for today, and I'll be posting in the group. I think the best way for us to trade those accounts, instead of having them little on different accounts, I would prefer we have it all as a single fund so that we can actually trade most of the setups we see here. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.